Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam
is inconceivably achintya wonderful. He's so beautiful, so powerful. Yet that person who controls absolutely everything, he will become under your control if you become his pure devotee. He will allow you to control him. Krishna likes to be controlled by his devotee. Baba gives a nice example in this connection. During the days when the British Empire was very powerful. They used to say the sun never sets on the British Empire, now it hardly even rises on the British Empire. The sun never sets on the British Empire. And the heyday of the British Empire, there was one, under Queen Victoria, there was one Prime Minister, Gladstone, and that's a very, very big, powerful position, you see. So one big, Prabhupada tells the story, one day a man came to see him, there was a big appointment, some important man, he's saying to see him. He's waiting outside in outside the office, and the appointment goes 10 minutes late, 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late. He's wondering what's going on. He pulled out his pocket watch. What's going on here with this appointment? In those days they had keyholes, you could look through the keyhole. Now you can't see through the keyhole. In the old days, sometimes we still see doors like that, the old-fashioned doors where you can look through the keyhole and see what's inside it. So his curiosity has got the best of me. He went up there and peeped through that keyhole, and there was the Prime Minister down on his hands and knees with his grandson on his back, and the grandson was going, "Giddy up, giddy up." He was playing the horse for his grandson, and that was more relishable than being the big Prime Minister of the all-pervading British Empire, all-powerful British Empire. That was more, you see, so Prabhupada gives us an example of Krishna, you see. Even though he's that big, powerful person, he'd rather be controlled by his devotee, you see. He'd rather be controlled by his devotee. That's his preference. Bhakta Vatsal, you see. Krishna is very, very affectionate to his devotee. Out of that loving affection, he wants to surrender himself to his devotee, actually. So this is an amazing thing, that by bhakti, Krishna becomes under your control. The Mayavadis, you see, they say, I want to become God. But our philosophy is to become greater than God, Prabhupada said. Why become God? That's a small position. That's a low-class position. Become a Vaishnava. That's greater than God. You see, that's our philosophy. In a transcendental way. And what's the proof? What is the proof that being a devotee is greater than being God? Proof is Lord Chaitanya. Lord Krishna was analyzing this. There's my wonderful girlfriend, Srimati Radharani. She's so beautiful, so wonderful. I'm so happy being served with this most beautiful woman compares with her beauty, her ability to cook preparations. She never cooks the same thing twice even. Everything she makes is indescribably delicious, and she never repeats the same prep. Krishna's just absolutely amazed by this cooking, this beautiful girl, Radharani. He's absolutely amazed. And he's so happy by her service, but he's always noticing, what is this? I'm the supreme enjoyer. This girl is enjoying more than me. What's going on here? How can it be I'm the supreme enjoyer and she's enjoying more than me? Krishna doesn't want to be defeated by Radharani. So he says, I will, that beautiful Gaurangi, that golden little girl, you see, I will take her complexion, I will take her mood, I will become Gauranga, and I will taste that mood of being a devotee of Krishna. So God himself decided to become a Hare Krishna. So it's pretty cool being a Hare Krishna, God himself joined the movement. Nothing more cool, more divine, you see, than being a Hare Krishna. The proof is God himself became a Hare Krishna. I don't know why the whole world hasn't joined. I think they're just sleeping in left Maya right now. I mean, if they really understood what this movement was, the whole world would immediately join right now today. Everyone. The whole world, every Christian, every Jew, every Muslim, every atheist, every agnostic, every hedonist, every gay, every lesbian, every straight, everyone. Everyone would immediately come and join this movement. Everyone, the whole world would join. If they simply understood what it is. Because people don't understand. We have a very small number of Hare Krishna devotees now, but people really understood that God himself became a Hare Krishna. The whole world became Hare Krishna. All the high court judges, they would show up wearing Vaishnava tilak. So we have about 5 minutes left for questions. Of course, we can have some longer question sessions later. We have 5 minutes left. Is there any questions? Yeah.
Some people criticize bhakti, saying that it's for people who are not intelligent enough to take to jnana. Could you please comment on that?
Yeah, some people say that bhakti is for the less intelligent. Those who are more intelligent, they take the path of jnana. But actually, that is not true, because their jnana is simply on a speculative platform. In other words, there's two ways of understanding the truth. There's the inductive method and the deductive method. The inductive method is called, in Sanskrit, it's called arohapanta, the ascending process. And the deductive method is called, in Sanskrit language, avarohapanta, the descending process of knowledge. So either way, you're going to have knowledge. It's a matter of how do you get it. The arohapanta, the inductive method, is, well, I'd like to see if all men are mortal or not. So I'm going to go on a survey, or see if I can find somebody that's immortal. And that way I can conclude whether it's true if all men are mortal, and whether that's true or not. I just go around and look for a man that's immortal, and then I'll know that it's not true that all men are mortal. So he goes looking around the world, going to this country, taking surveys. You know anybody who's immortal? And this way he's searching. Even after he covered the whole planet, he went to every single town and village on the whole planet, he's still thinking, well, maybe I missed somebody in one village somewhere that's immortal. So that method of the jnanis of understanding truth is imperfect. It's not that the bhaktas are lacking in knowledge, but they just come the other way. They come to knowledge the other way. They take the knowledge which is being revealed by the Supreme Lord. So just like we can understand, it is stated by learned scholars that all men are mortal. By accepting and understanding that principle, now I can immediately understand that means you are mortal, I am mortal, everyone is mortal. Of course, we're talking on the material plane now, a crude example. Of course, we know philosophically, spiritually, we're all immortal, but we're talking about the bodies. So, one can go on speculating, just like an example, if you want to scratch your nose, there's two ways you can do it. So you can scratch it this way, or you can, let's see if I can do it without straining a muscle here. Scratch it this way. That's it. So this is the jnani method. I want to scratch my nose is itching. Oh, I gotta scratch it. That's the jnani. This is the bhaktas. Both are scratching the nose. But one is scratching this way, the other is scratching that way. There was a big conference, one of these a so-called guru guru melas in India, where all the Mayavadis came, in North India. Big guru mela. You see, they invited Prabhupada also to come. So Prabhupada told his disciples, they would go on speculating for millions of years, they would never realize God. We realize God takes simply by taking prasadam. So they may speculate. They're very proud. They can twist their mind this way. They can quote Vedanta Sutra inside, backwards, upside down. They can twist the sutras in so many ways, just like the material science, just like the Stephen Hawking. You can juggle words in so many big ways. You see, to razzle-dazzle the minds of the less educated than him. So the Gyanis are simply word jugglers. They razzle-dazzle you with all kinds of word jugglery. But if you look deep into what they're saying, it's just, there's nothing there, there's no substance. There's no substance. Hawking says that this universe came out of absolutely nothing. And they applaud him that, oh, you're the greatest scientist. But wait a minute. Science means observation and experiment. So my dear Dr. Hawkins, please show me one experiment ever done by any scientist in the history of science where they took something out of nothing. Well, in the future we will do it. So they make big show of being big this, but there's only big ass. Buddha. Avajananti man Buddha, manusham tadamashritam padam bhavamajanato mama bhuta maheshwaram. So we'll end this session now. And who has unlimited cognizant powers to understand his glories cannot keep up because his glories are constantly expanding. Therefore Krishna himself, even though he's fully Krishna conscious momentarily, and he can't remain fully Krishna conscious because his own glories are expanding exponentially at every nanosecond. Therefore Krishna is always becoming more and more Krishna conscious. So where's our position? So, no matter how deep you go into bhakti, you can go deeper. And then you go deeper and deeper for all of eternity. So there's the bottom line here is that bhakti is not boring. Anything else you may pursue, you reach a point where the point of diminishing returns, you see. But Krishna consciousness is ever increasing returns. The more you become Krishna conscious, the more it becomes exciting, enlivening, and thrilling. And that just increases. So there's so many, Prabhupada is giving so many wonderful descriptions in so many places that we're hardly even hitting the high points of the high points here in this seminar. And everyone should have a full set of Prabhupada's books and should study every one of Prabhupada's books again and again throughout your whole life. You get a full library of Prabhupada's books, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Instruction, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Easy Journey to Other Planets, Krishna book. You get all of Prabhupada's books and read them again and again and again and again throughout your whole life. You see? Because we're just hardly even scratching the surface of the surface of the surface in this seminar. Prabhupada actually explains very nicely in his purport to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, text 8, quoting from Rupa Goswami. This is one of the famous verses that Prabhupada quotes again and again and again from Srila Rupa Goswami regarding the process of pure devotional service. Atakshi Krishna namadi navavet grayam indriyai sevam mukhe jivado swayam eva swaradvadaha. That no one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, fame, forms, qualities, pastimes, entourage, etc. of the unlimited Supreme Personality of Godhead with his blunt, materially contaminated senses. Only when one is spiritually saturated or Krishnaized, by engaging in devotional service, jiva, though beginning with the tongue, or the transcendental name, fame, forms, pastimes, entourage, qualities, etc., 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 of the Supreme Personality of God is revealed to him. So, it's mystical, really, not academic. It's mystical. You can hear about it, you can hear the concepts, but you got to take it one step further. You see. You have to take it beyond the level of Gyan to the level called Vigyan. You have to apply this process. You can say, I'd really like to have some banana cake, and I got a great recipe here. I've been reading the recipe all day, but I still didn't get any banana cake. You got to take the recipe. Don't you realize you got to take the ingredients? You got to do what the recipe said. You got to mix it up in the bowl, set the oven at the right temperature. You got to grease the pan, flour the pan, make sure not leave out the baking powder, and then you get a wonderful banana cake. You see, you have to actually follow the recipe. You can't just study the recipe. You say, "Well, I know the recipe perfectly. I know how much flour," but you aren't doing it. You have to go to the kitchen and mix the ingredients, and then you can actually banana. You need to know the recipe, that's Gyan. You need to follow the recipe, that's Vigyan. So when you actually do it, when you actually engage in devotional service, what happens? Krishna becomes revealed to you. Verse, and quote, he can defeat immediately, you see. He can immediately defeat him, but he was a new brahmachari, he didn't know this sloka. Wasn't familiar with this sloka. This sloka defeats that argument immediately. It's a fact that your imperfect senses, you cannot know God, that's a fact. But when you purify your senses, you see, by hearing and chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord, your senses are becoming Krishnized, they're becoming spiritually saturated. They are moving from the realm known as imperfection to the realm known as perfection. In other words, session 1 purified you to a certain extent. Now we're going to session 2. This session will purify you even more. And session 3, in this way, bhakti, the more you practice, the more you hear about Krishna, the more you chant, the more you take prasad, the more you bow down, the more you do service, scrubbing the dishes, shavanam, kirtanam, scrubbanam, mappanam. The more you do devotional service, you become more and more purified, and the result will be, you will see God in due course. You will feel His presence, and you will see Him. That's the word. And not only you'll see Him, but you'll enter into your original relationship with Krishna in any one of 5 primary rasas. That will be the result. Especially the 4. The first one, Shanta rasa, is not very important. But those 4 rasas are especially important. Either friendship, servitude, friendship, parental or conjugal. If you will, we have rasa. Each one of us has rasa with Krishna. That is called Swarup, our original relationship with God. We've forgotten it. Since time immemorial, we've been caught up in what's called Ahankara Loka, the world of false ego. We've been caught up in these false ideas in which I'm thinking that I'm the center of the universe. And I like you if you enhance my feeling of being the center of the universe. Otherwise, I don't like you. Is it? That's how people judge, That's who they make their friendship with. People who enhance their feeling of being the center of the universe. If you will enhance my feeling that I'm the center of the universe, then you're my friend. And if not, I don't want you around, you see. This is psychology. But actually we're not the center of the universe. The center of the universe is the origin of the universe. Can you manifest all the planets from yourself? If you think you're the center of the universe, then manifest all the planets. Can you do that? So we are not the center of the universe. So we can understand by simple philosophical analysis that we are not the complete whole. I am part of a complete whole which is much greater than myself. So what is the natural relationship of part of the thing with the whole thing itself? The natural relationship is service. It's like your hand is part of your body. You see, the hand is part of the body. What is its function? To serve the body, complete whole of the body. If it doesn't do that, I have to go to the doctor. Oh, my hand, I broke my hand, it doesn't work, I can't do anything with it. Well, here's a splint, here's this and that, and here's some Novocaine, and we'll get you cured up here in due course, so you can use your hand again. So the part is meant to serve the complete whole in every case. It's a universal principle. Therefore, I can understand, I can deduce, again, now we're doing Avaroha Pantha here, I can deduce that since every part is meant to serve the whole of which it is a part, since I am the part of a complete whole, which is much greater than myself, therefore I am naturally meant in my healthy state to serve that complete whole. So then the moon has to find out, okay, what does the complete whole want me to do? How am I to do that? That's another issue. But we can understand philosophically that I am part of the complete whole, and therefore I'm meant to serve that complete. That we can understand philosophically and logically. Gyan can take us, so through Gyan we can achieve a certain level, but then to go beyond that, we require the revealed knowledge, you see, from Krishna, through the acharyas and the sastras. Logically, philosophically, you can understand there's a supreme person is the source of all existence. But who that person is, that has to be revealed to us, you see, by that person. And that person does reveal that to us, Krishna. Reveals himself. So Prabhupada is speaking actually in his purport some wonderful enlightening words. Prabhupada's purports are so amazing. I mean, every single word is pregnant with unlimited oceans of meaning. So you can go back and read the same purport again and again, day after day after day, and it never is the same. It's always more and more. Prabhupada said new and newer lights will keep coming out of these purports, these verses. So we can analyze what Prabhupada is saying here. This Bhagavad Gita is the science of Krishna consciousness. No one can become Krishna conscious simply by mundane scholarship. One must be fortunate enough to associate with a person who is in pure consciousness. This is a very, very essential aspect of the bhakti process. We require the association of a pure devotee. It's a very essential thing. Brahmanda Brahmite Khanja Bhagyavanji Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhaktilata Bij. After wandering throughout the Brahmanda, the upper planets, the lower planets, the middle planets, through 8,400,000 species, again and again, going here and there for millions of lifetimes, since time immemorial, a living entity, Konya Bhagyavan Jeev, one Jiva soul, one living entity who is Bhagyavan, most fortunate, comes in contact with a pure devotee of Krishna who plants the seed of bhakti within his heart by the mercy of Krishna. So this is if you want pure devotional service, you require that seed to be planted in your heart. You cannot manifest the seed on your own. Just like a woman cannot make herself pregnant. She requires the help of a man to make herself pregnant. So we cannot make ourselves pregnant with bhakti. We require the pure devotee to plant seed of bhakti within our hearts. And that is done through hearing. And Prabhupada continues, as a Krishna conscious person has realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna because he is satisfied with pure devotional service. What does that mean, to be satisfied with pure devotional service? That means simply by pure devotional service, all of his desires are fulfilled. He doesn't need Lord Chaitanya has given that verse, everyone knows. Danam na janam na sundarim kavitam vajagadisha kameye janmani janmanishvare bhavatat bhaktir ahaitaki trai. Lord Chaitanya is saying, I'm fully satisfied just by devotional service. I don't need to go back to Godhead, I don't need women, I don't need followers, I don't need money, I don't need anything except devotional service. That's what it means to be fully satisfied with pure devotional service. That's all you need. That one thing alone completely satisfies you. You see, that's what it means. And that kind of fixed consciousness, that kind of one-pointed, philosophical one-pointedness is required if you want pure devotional service. It's not like, well, I like this and I like that and I like pure devotional service too. No. You're not going to get it. If you have a list of 25 things you want in your life and pure devotional service is somewhere in the list, even if it's number 1 on the list, you're not going to get it. Ananyashyante yantomang yejana priyapasate tesham nitibhiyuktanam yogachemam vahamyaham. Krishna says, for those who worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, I preserve what they have and I carry what they have. Krishna wants 99% of your love? No. As Prabhupada said, 10%. He wants 100% of your love. That's it. There's no bargaining. Well, Krishna, can I just do 90%? No. You give 100%, that's what you have to give if you want to qualify to get Krishna. 100% of your heart goes to Krishna. So that's what it means to be satisfied with pure devotional service. You don't need anything except for pure devotional service. Well, how will I eat? Don't worry, Krishna will take care of you. Krishna will, if you give yourself fully to Krishna, I guarantee you, he will take care of you. I've seen as I and in my own life, we didn't have, my wife and I started preaching, we were so poor we didn't have any place to live. Couldn't even afford an apartment, we were so poor. My father had given me the money to buy a vehicle, so we had a vehicle. We had no place to live. We just go to a campground and sleep in the campground. We rented a garage. We parked the van. We were just living in a van and preaching, going around distributing, getting donations to put Bhagavad Gitas in the library is what we were doing. But we've seen that just by being absorbed in Krishna's service, that Krishna took care of us. Because we had only one desire, that was to be Krishna conscious and spread it. Our marriage is simply based on that principle. Be Krishna conscious and spread it. And Krishna has continued to take very good care of us. I've seen. Just right now we're flying all over the world, but all those plane tickets, they're coming by Krishna's mercy. We fly 64 flights last year. 64 flights. Well, 62. And 2 cruises on a boat across the Gulf of Finland. 64 travel segments last year, and Krishna arranged everything. He paid for all of it. You imagine 64 flights? That's not cheap. 64 flights, and 62 plus 2 cruises. But Krishna gave everything. So we've seen that just by being absorbed in being Krishna conscious and spread it, and Krishna gives all material facilities. He gives everything. Just by that determination that we want to be Krishna conscious, we want to give it to others, and Krishna's arranged everything for us. It's so nice. It's process. Just an example. And the next sentence is Prabhupada's, every sentence is so wonderful. You realize that Krishna is fully present in every sentence of Prabhupada's purports. Lord Sri Krishna himself is fully manifested in each and every sentence, every word, every letter of Prabhupada's purports. By realized knowledge, one becomes perfect. That's an interesting, you would think, well, doesn't realize knowledge means you're already perfect? You would think, well, if you realize you're already perfect, but it also, you can also have realized knowledge on the way to being perfect. Even before you're fully perfect, you can have realized knowledge. That's a very interesting concept. By transcendental knowledge, one can remain steady in his convictions. What is that called in Sanskrit? Dridha vrata, unflinching determination. You see, the yogis can't do that. Even a powerful yogi can fall down, as Prabhupada gave the example of Vishwamitra Muni. Even a powerful yogi who went all the way through yam, niyam, asana, pranayama, adyahara, he went all the way through the eightfold process of the Ashtanga system. He got all the way to samadhi, but as soon as Indradev said, oh, this yogi is getting really powerful. By his yogic powers, he can take over my throne. I got a beautiful girl here on the heavenly planets. Let's send her down there and see what she can do. To divert his mind from his yoga practice. Who did he send? Menaka. And she was really good looking. More beautiful than any woman on this planet. And as soon as that yogi didn't even see her, just as soon as he heard the ankle bells, ching, ching, he was up there in the Himalayas somewhere in a remote place doing his yoga, but what's this, a woman has come? Let me check this out. And that was it. She was so good looking and he couldn't resist the temptation. It wasn't like Haridas Thakur, It wasn't like Haridas. It's the Bhakta. The Bhaktas defeat the yogis every time. That's a fact. Every time the yogis are defeated by the Bhaktas. So, that means the yogis are lacking in transcendental knowledge. Sometimes they think that they are the supreme. When they realize the Paramatma by the yoga, they think they are the Paramatma. So the yogis can go to a higher step, become a devotee, or they can be diverted into impersonalism, the yogis. Generally they get diverted into impersonalism. Yes, I am that Paramatma. You see. So transcendental knowledge, realizing one's identity as a Jivara Swarupa Hari Krishnera Nityada, transcendental knowledge will make you steady, fully steady. And then Prabhupada continues the sentence, but by mere academic knowledge one can easily be deluded and confused by apparent contradictions. There are many apparent, now notice the emphasis on the word apparent. There are many apparent contradictions in the Vedic wisdom. For example, what does it say in the Sri Upanishad? He walks and he does not walk. He is very near, but he is very far away. What is this? Among the magicians say, what is this? There's these Vedic poets are trying to have some fun with us and juggle some words to razzle-dazzle our brains with some Zen koans or something like that. Zen riddles. No. Krishna has Achintya Shakti. He can do anything conceivable or inconceivable. He can be very near, right there as the Lord in your heart, and be millions and billions and trillions and quadrillions and zillions of light years away in Goloka Vrindavan, both at the same time. That is the nature of the Absolute. Just like that famous story, that Narada Muni was going to the spiritual world. So there was a cobbler in that Smarta Brahmana. He was very proud. Yes, I am a Smarta Brahmana. He was very proud of being a Smarta Brahmana. So you're going to see Lord Narayan? I did ask him when I'll be liberated. Everyone knows the story. But, the cobbler also, you're going to see my beloved Lord. Oh, please tell him. And I'll be liberated. When I come back to him, I'd like to. So, Lord Narayan told Narada, you tell that cobbler you'll come back immediately. You tell the Brahmana it'll be millions of lifetimes before he comes back. And they ask you what I was doing, just tell them I was putting an elephant to the eye of a needle. So Narada followed Narayan's instruction. And he told that Brahmana, it'll be many, many lifetimes before you come back. What? Oh yeah, he said, what was Lord Narayan doing? Yes, that's right. And he was threading an elephant to the eye of the needle. That's not possible, he couldn't do that. And then he told the cobbler, same thing. I said, oh, my Lord is so amazing, he can do anything. That's so wonderful. He said, how can you believe that? How can you think that someone could actually thread an elephant to the eye of the needle? He said, don't you see this banyan tree here? This huge tree with so many trunks going in so many directions, this humongous tree. It came from a little tiny seed. If Lord Narayan can put this huge tree in that little tiny seed, what is it difficult putting an elephant to the eye of a needle? So in this way, one has to have complete faith in the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Lord. And when you have that faith, and that is, where does our bhakti process begin? This is, again, Rupa Goswami, our great authority. You know, Prabhupada said we are all Rupa Nugas. Rupa Goswami is very, very important for our movement, you see. We are Rupa Nugas. We are followers in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, as the Prabhupada said. So Rupa Goswami has stated the process of bhakti begins with faith. Actually, it is preliminary faith, Shraddha. And that faith becomes solid, that is called nishtha. That solid faith comes after initiation. So in the beginning, the faith is a very important thing, the preliminary faith. But when you take Guru, when you take Diksha and surrender to Guru, then that preliminary faith becomes transformed into nishtha, solid faith, unflinching faith. So then Prabhupada continues, that is the realized soul who is actually self-controlled because he is surrendered to Krishna. He is transcendental because he has nothing to do with mundane scholarship. For him, mundane scholarship and mental speculation, which may be as good as gold to others, are of no greater value than pebbles or stone. You can't allure a pure devotee with anything in this material. Even in the Bible, there's a nice example where Jesus was been fasting in the wilderness, and the material energy. The Bible describes Satan. Satan came and tempted Lord Jesus with so many things. And what was his response? Get thee behind me, Satan. Get out of here. So pure devotee, he's not attracted by anything in this material. You can offer him all kinds of sense gratification. He's not interested. This is very nicely described by Jamunacharya Albandra of South India. Great Vaishnavacharya. I believe he was the guru of Ramanujacharya. He was formerly a worldly king with all kinds of sense gratification. But after becoming Vaishnava, he wrote a beautiful poem, Yadavadi Mama Cheta, Krishna Paralavinde. Tadavadi mama cheta Krishna Padaravinde Nava Nava Rasa Damanujataram Tumasit Tadavadi Bhattanari Sangame Smayamane Bhavadi Mukhushtu Nishtivanamcha. Ever since I've engaged in the strengthened loving service of Lord Sri Krishna, deriving Nava Nava Rasa, newer and newer pleasure in that service. If somehow or other due to vast bad habits, thought of sex pleasure enters my brain, my lips curl with distaste and I immediately spit at the thought. So once you get a taste for Krishna consciousness, if you've really got a taste, this is called ruchi. Once you really got a taste for Krishna consciousness, nothing will attract you away from Krishna. You see? If your mind's dancing, if you got a dancing monkey mind, you see, Krishna, Maya, Krishna, Maya, Krishna, Maya, dancing, dancing, dancing. If you have a dancing mind, that means you haven't achieved the ruchi stage yet. You haven't gotten the taste yet. You haven't fully gotten the taste for bhakti yet. You're aspiring for it, that's good. You see. But as long as you're feeling an attraction for things other than Krishna, you're not on the ruchi stage yet. You haven't achieved taste yet. So it's very important on this path of bhakti that we develop that taste, as Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita 2:59. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense objects remains, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. So there's one thing you can derive from this seminar. I hope it would be that I've got to get that taste. You have to be greedy to get that taste, you see, for Krishna. So how do you develop a taste for Krishna? You could say it's an acquired taste, but no, it's a reacquired thing. Because originally we had that taste for Krishna. We wanted Krishna and only Krishna. That was our original position. But somehow, due to bad association, we became polluted. And we developed a taste for mundane. It's called mundane rasa. We develop a taste for the mundane. It's due to bad association. But the good news is that we can regain our original position by good association. As an example in this connection, one time in Dallas, in suburban Dallas, out there in one of those neighborhoods, with all the nice houses and the manicured lawns, one gentleman just went out for a walk in the neighborhood, and something happened to his chemistry of the brain. He went into a state of amnesia. He forgot who he was, forgot where he lived. He had no idea what his name was. I mean, he was completely bewildered. He didn't know anything. And he wandered the streets of Dallas for weeks, living as a bum on the streets. He's a wealthy, well-to-do man. But he forgot who he was, didn't know how to go home. He had no idea where to go, what to do. He was wandering as a beggar. Name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed. Proper guidance means a bona fide spiritual master and bona fide scriptures. You can't just do bhakti on your own, by your own imagination. That's called sahajism. Taking a process cheaply. I'll invent my own way to do bhakti. Many people do that. They say, yes, I'm devoted to Krishna. I'm thinking about him all the time. I'm always chanting his name. I don't need to chant japa because I'm constantly chanting in my mind. I don't need to come to your temple because I'm always thinking of Krishna. While I'm gratifying my senses, I'm always absorbing Krishna content. I don't need to come to your temple and be from a devotee. I'm already thinking of Krishna all the time. You see? What does Rupa Goswami say? Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharata Diding Vina Aikantaki Hirar Bhaktir Upate Yaiva Kalpate. Devotional service performed without reference to the Vedas, Puranas, Pancharatras, etc. is mere sentimentalism. It's actually simply a disturbance of the human society. So if you really want to do bhakti, you can't just invent your own process of bhakti. You are not qualified. You are not qualified to invent your own process of bhakti. You have to take what is coming down from Krishna through the acharyas, through this Vedic wisdom. You have to take the authorized system. You cannot invent your own cure. If you do, you're inventing it within your state of sickness. So your cure will keep you in sickness. You have to take the cure coming down from Krishna through the acharyas. That will save you. So under proper guidance is very, very important. We have the best guide here, Srila Prabhupada. And those who are purely representing Srila Prabhupada. These people, they can guide us. Others cannot. They cannot. Because they themselves are deluded. Who are not following the authorized system coming down from the Vedic wisdom. There's so many gurus, so many teachers, cheaters. Teacher is T-E-A-C-H-E-R. Just take the T and the C-H and reverse them and you got cheaters. It's like I was looking for spiritual enlightenment. I was going to so many gurus. They were cheaters. One guru, he said, I'm God, you're God, and we're all God. Another guru said, we are all avatars. What kind of nonsense is that? In India, one guru says, I don't say Aham Brahmasmi, I say Tattvamasmi. In other words, the Mayavadis translate Aham Brahmasmi as I am God. And Tattvamasmi, you are God. That's how they mistranslate these Vedic aphorisms. So this devotee was saying, my Guruji, he's very advanced and very humble. He never says Aham Brahmasmi, he only says Tattvamasmi. He never says I am God, he just tells us we are God, you are God. He's very advanced Guru, he's so humble and pure. He just tells us that we are God, he never says that he is God. So this cheating is going on, in India especially. This is the home of the cheaters, India. Prabhupada one time said that every day that in India is a mystic factory. Every day they're manufacturing another incarnation of God, Prabhupada. And so Prabhupada did not come as a cheater in a mystic factory. He came as the pure devotee, the emissary of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So how much we're indebted to Prabhupada? We can't even conceive of how much we're indebted to Prabhupada. We try to pay him back with Prabhupada, I owe you so much, let me do something to pay you back. Well, you know what? It's only by Prabhupada's mercy we can do anything to pay him back. That means the more we serve him and pay him back, the more we become indebted. So we take his mercy to pay him back. It's like borrowing, so I owe you some money, okay? Plus interest. Now I'll pay you back and I borrow some more money. And to pay you that way, I can become more and more indebted. So we just become more and more indebted to Prabhupada. We're just hopelessly indebted to Prabhupada for all of eternity. We go deeper and deeper into debt to Prabhupada. The more we try to pay him back, the more we become indebted. But it's great, It's great. We're just totally indebted to Prabhupada in that way. So, the next point that Prabhupada brings out is this. He says, in the Brahma Samhita, and I quoted this a little earlier, that, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena verse. He quotes that, and he says, one can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, always within himself and outside himself, if one has developed a transcendental loving attitude towards him. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. What does it tell us? It may be hard, a little bit of a bitter pill for us. Those who actually develop love for Krishna, they can see him. So, for those of us who can't see Krishna yet, well, here's the bitter pill we have to swallow today. Prabhupada Maharaji's. We haven't fully developed our love for him. Oof. We don't like to hear that, do we? We think, yes, I'm a great devotee. We don't want to think we're great devotees now. But the fact is that those who actually develop love for Krishna, they can see Krishna 24 hours within and without. But the good news is, actually we are seeing him in one sense. Prabhupada gives an example with car engine. Interesting example for seeing Krishna. A car engine. It's like somebody, you're driving along your car, there's all this smoke coming out of the hood, you pull over, you get out your mobile phone, you call for help. You lift the hood up, you look at it, well, I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm seeing the engine, but I have no idea what's wrong with it. You call a mechanic on your mobile phone, he comes out there, he looks at it also. You're looking at the engine, the mechanic's looking at the engine. You're both seeing the engine, isn't it? The mechanic looks at it and he goes, zip, and it's fixed. So you're both seeing the engine, but his seeing and your seeing are different. This is the example Prabhupada gives. So actually everybody can see God. We can all see God. But the pure devotee, his seeing of God is different. Because actually, everything is Krishna. There's nothing exists that is not Krishna. You may say, you talking Mayavadi? Sankarshan? No, not Mayavadi. Prabhupada said, everything is Krishna and nothing is Krishna save and except his original primeval personality. So everything, Krishna has manifested everything from himself. Everything that exists is Krishna in the form of his expanded energy. So actually we're all seeing Krishna at every minute. We're all seeing Krishna. But it's like that the layman and the mechanic, they see it differently. So the devotee, he's seeing Krishna in a different way than the non-devotee is seeing Krishna. The non-devotee is just seeing Krishna in the form of his energy. But the one who is a lover of Krishna, he's seeing Krishna in the form of the energetic source of all the energy. That's the difference. Another simile in this gospel is vision. I notice that some of you are wearing eyeglasses here today. You see? Now if you take off your glasses, it gets blurry, doesn't it? Yeah. And you put it back on and you can see very nicely. So the same thing is there, but your perception of it is different. You're still seeing my hand, but without your glasses you can't see how many fingers I'm holding up. You're seeing the hand, but you can't see it clearly without your glasses. With your glasses you can see I have 3 fingers. You see. So in the same way, we are all seeing God, but it's blurry. God is blurred out because of lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and he's blurred out. But by Krishna consciousness means Shastra Chakshus. You put on the corrective lenses of Vedic wisdom. You see through the collective lenses of Vedic wisdom. And by this process, gradual process, even one time, even in the material world, they have programs for seeing, you can train your eyes to not need glasses. When I started working, many years ago, I started working I got a job as a computer programmer, and I was staring at the screen. After I was a Brahman for 14 years. Then I got married, and they said, they want all the householders, I was living in the temple. All the householders should get jobs and support the temple by monthly donations. You should be examples, good examples. Of Krishna conscious householders, you should all get jobs and support the temple with monthly donations and do service at the same time also. Attend the programs, do service, and give money, work and earn money and give it to the temple. So I said, okay, I'll be a loyal follower of Prabhupada's movement. I'll follow my temple authorities. So I got some training, and then I got a job as a computer programmer. So now I'm staring at a computer screen all day long, and my eyes start getting, affected by it. So I thought, well, I can get glasses, but then I heard you could train your eyes not to need glasses. There's all kinds of exercises you can do. I think it's called a Cambridge something. You can get their program. So I got their program, and it worked. I was able to train my eyes to not need the glasses. So this Krishna conscious process is actually a training program for these spiritual eyes. Even though now our vision is blurry, we're seeing God, but we're only seeing the energy. We're not seeing the energetic source because our vision is blurred out. But this training process, training to see, with love. It's called the eyes of love. By training ourselves to have a loving attitude towards God, then we will become qualified to see Him. But God, we can't see Him directly in His original personal form, so how do you love somebody you can't see? Someone could ask. That's why He manifests externally as the spiritual master. Because we can see the spiritual master, even with our blurry material vision, we can see the spiritual master. He's described in the scriptures as the external manifestation of the Supersoul, the Lord within. So I can see the spiritual master, you see. Because he's purely representing Krishna, whatever love I feel towards my Guru, that it is immediately transferred into Krishna Prem, love for Krishna. So whatever prem you have for Guru, that prem immediately is Krishna Prem. So this Guru, having Guru is very important. Because you can develop a loving feeling for Guru. How did Prabhupada convince us to join this movement? Everybody felt that Prabhupada loves me more than anybody's ever loved me in my whole life. That's why we surrendered to him. We never saw someone who could love us like that before, you see. Never had seen any person who was so loving with Prabhupada. Everybody knew Prabhupada is special. Even if people hadn't seen him. I remember when I was associating there, Vishnu Jana Swami came to Austin, Texas, and he started preaching there. It was really, really great. And we'd never seen Prabhupada. We heard about Prabhupada from Vishnu Jana Maharaj. And I remember there was one lady, I forget her name, but she had a little baby, I think. I forget her name. She had a little baby girl. And this little baby girl also, she heard about Prabhupada from Vishnu Jana Swami. And this little baby girl would just call out, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. She would love, she would call out the name of Prabhupada. And just by hearing that little baby call out the name Prabhupada, it melted my heart. And that helped me to surrender. Because Prabhupada is so powerful and so full of love. Even if you didn't see Prabhupada, just by hearing about this personality that hardly ever a person like that graces this universe, you see. Such a person is more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord, more or less. So in the beginning, we are more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. That's the beginning stage. kind of devoted discipline. We're not pure devotees yet, but we're kind of devoted, more or less devoted. Out of these, there are 4 classes of men: those who are sometimes distressed, those who need money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. Notice, Prabhupada used the word sometimes for each one of them. Not that they're all the time. He said sometimes. There are people, they sometimes come to the program, even if it's only sometimes. They're pious, they're good, they're not discontinued, they're discontinued. They're pious men because you're pious. So we want to encourage them, that may be us too. Should be proud, thinking, well, I'm already a pure devotee. Actually, the pure devotees think they are not pure devotees. They really feel they're not. So if you think, well, I'm really getting really advanced, Prabhu, well, you better think twice, because the pure devotees don't think they're advanced. If you think you're advanced, you better talk to somebody. They need a little help. What does Rupa Goswami say? He says, Na prema shavanadi bhaktir. This is the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 1:235. He says, Na prema shavanadi bhaktir api vayogatava vaishnavo. Jnanam va shubha karma va kiyadaho jatsirapyasti va. Narata dikhasadaketvaita tapyaschedam malasati e gopi jana balava vyahare mahashayam. He says that I have no love for Krishna, no prema. No prema shravanadi bhaktir api navo no vaishnava. He says I have no attachment for hearing and chanting either. I have no love, no attachment for hearing and chanting. He says I don't have the mystic power of a Vaishnava, I don't have knowledge, I don't have pious activities. And then he says I'm not even born of a decent family. If you analyze me, I'm completely bereft of any qualification to engage in devotional service. That's what the Swami said. And he said that, my dear Lord, Gopi Jana Ballava, you are famous as being very, very kind to those who are in the most fallen condition. Because of that, therefore, I have this unbreakable hope that is constantly in my heart that somehow or other I will get your mercy, get your blessing, to become your pure devotee. But, this is an amazing line, he says, but this hope is giving me pain. Because I feel so unqualified to achieve that, your lotus feet. So just see, he's feeling Rupa Goswami is feeling bad that he's totally unqualified to come to devotional service. And that's the highest level of pure bhakti. He's one of the intimate gopis in Krishna's pastimes, Rupa Manjari. And this is his mood. He's completely unqualified. So if you think you're advanced, go talk to somebody who can help you. You need some psychological help. The more you can see how fallen you are, that is your advancement. That doesn't give an excuse, well, therefore I'll break the principles. No, I'm not saying that. You have to strictly follow the rules and regulations. At the same time, you should feel yourself more fallen. As you advance through the years, you should feel you're more fallen. Have a more feeling of being fallen rascal. That's actually the sin of advancement. The more you feel that you're fallen, the more you're advancing in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada says, these persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. Pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:11 defines pure devotion thus: Anyavilashita Shumyan Garakarmadanavitam Anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. One should render devotional service to the Supreme Lord favorably without desire for material profit or gain through mental speculation or fruitive activities. That is called pure devotional service. So if you want to know what it is, Rupa Goswami is to find it very scientifically. There's no desire for sense gratification or mental speculation. Completely free of those things. Favorable, you see, there's anukul and pratikul. There's two kinds of Krishna consciousness. Anukul and pratikul. Pratikul is not pretty cool. That's the bhakti of Kamsa. That's Kamsa's Krishna consciousness. So we don't want to be that kind of Krishna conscious. You want to be Krishna conscious, anukul, the great acharya that you see. That's the Krishna conscious we want. Favorably. Then Prabhupada continues, he said, when these four kinds of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. See how important association is, sadhu sangha? Again, Prabhupada is emphasizing, you want to become a pure devotee, you can only do that by associating with a pure devotee. That's why you have to have a spiritual master. And that's why if we want our movement to be successful, we have to become pure devotees ourselves. So anybody who associates with us will automatically become pure devotees simply by associating with us. We have to become pure devotees. You say, well, certainly I couldn't become a pure devotee. I couldn't become an ideal Vaishnava or an Acharya. That's not possible. It's not possible. There'll be others, but certainly not me. But what did Prabhupada say in Mayapur? He said, now we are 10,000. Then we will grow to 100,000. Then we will grow to 1 million, and then we will grow to 10 million. There will be no scarcity of acharyas. So what does that mean for you, Prabhu? What does that mean for you, Mataji? That means Prabhupada wants you to become acharya. That's Prabhupada's vision for you. You are meant to become an acharya, an empowered preacher of Krishna consciousness, whose mere presence in this universe can deliver the whole universe. Actually, that's what Prabhupada wants us to do, become acharyas. His vision was that will happen. Prabhupada predicted that will happen. We will have 10 million acharyas in ISKCON. I guarantee you, we have 10 million acharyas in this movement, the high court judges all over the world will be wearing tilak. I guarantee you. They will. It's going to happen. If we become pure devotees. So these seminars are very important. Pure devotional service seminars. They're very important thing. We have to come to this position of pure bhakti. Prabhupada expects it of us. It's his vision for this movement. And Prabhupada continues, as far as the miscreants are concerned, for them devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. That tells us something. We should all have spiritual goals. You don't want to be a miscreant, then you better have spiritual goals. Do you have spiritual goals? If you don't, you're a miscreant. You better have spiritual goals. If you don't have them, go home tonight and write them down on a piece of paper. If you don't have them, write them down. Everyone should make spiritual goals for themselves, not just material goals. You make spiritual goals for yourself. Everyone should do that. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with a pure devotee, also become pure devotees. That means even a miscreant, if somehow or other, even by accident, they come in contact with a pure devotee, their life can become transformed. That's the great power of a pure devotee's association. Even if you had no intention of coming to the transcendental platform, somehow or other you just happen to come in contact with a pure devotee, and you somehow open your heart up to that pure devotee, then by that you can become a pure devotee. Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress, and at that time associate with pure devotees. Wait, I think I missed the line. No, it is true. They come to the Lord in material distress, and at the same time associate with pure devotees and become in their distress devotees of the Lord. Those who are simply frustrated also sometimes come to associate with the pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. Similarly, when the dry philosophers are frustrated in every field of knowledge, they sometimes want to learn of God, and they come to the Supreme Lord to render devotional service and thus transcend knowledge of the impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma and come to the personal conception of Godhead by the grace of the Supreme Lord or his pure devotee. So this association is so important. No matter what your position is, if you have somehow associated with those who are pure in their Krishna consciousness, that association can deliver you to the realm of pure bhakti. On the whole, when the distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge, and those who are in need of money are free from all material desires, when they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotees. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service of the Lord are